So I know it's been a little while since I filmed a video. I think it's been about a week or so. I've just been really busy with doing other things and haven't really had time to film, but today I thought that I would film a video on my favourite makeup brushes. These are just generally ones that I've either been using for ages or I have just sort of recently started using and really liked. But these are just generally my favourite types of brushes as well. So I just thought I'd go through them and show you guys which one's my favourite and why I like them and why I use them. So yeah, anyways, let's get started firstly on foundation. So I'm going to start off firstly with the Real Techniques stippling brush. It's just a duo fibre stippling brush. It's pretty small, but it's just the Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman. And I really like this brush for foundation. I'm not a humongous fan of stippling brushes, to be completely honest. I did used to use the buckling brush, which came in the core set, but I started using this one when I needed to change up my brush for my Revlon Colour Stay Whipped foundation, and I started using this one and absolutely loved it, and I just really like it. I love the fact that it's small, I love the fact that it's dense, which not all stippling brushes are. And I just like the fact that it really blends in my foundation and it sort of covers, you know, like a smaller area so that you can really blend it in and get a good coverage. So this is my favourite brush for foundation. I do also like buffing brushes and sort of like the flat top brushes, but for now this is the one that I'm using and I really like it. And another thing I like about the Real Techniques brushes in general are the fact that I don't find that they shed. So I really like that. Okay, next off is concealer. For concealer, and this is for both under eye and face, but like the majority of what I use it for is under eye. And it's another Real Techniques brush, and it's the contour brush, which just basically looks like this. It's just pretty much a small domed brush, and you can tell why it would be used for contouring because it's perfect just to get under the jawline there. But I use this for concealer because underneath the eye, just to blend out the concealer, it just gives a really flawless airbrushed finish. It's just perfect for under eye, and it's also great if you have a concealer that is pretty light because you can use it in that sort of like V shape to get a really nice under eye highlight. It's just absolutely amazing, and it's really soft, and once again doesn't shed, so it's absolutely perfect for concealer. I really like this type of brush. Next off is powder. With powder I do prefer something that is quite dense because I don't have oily skin, so if I use something that's like a really large fluffy brush or anything like that, I just kind of find that it sits on the top of my skin. And the majority of times that I set my foundation with powder, I do use a mineral foundation, so it's really important for me to really blend it in well, otherwise it's just going to make me look cakey. So the brush that I really like to use for powder is a kabuki brush, and this one in particular is from Models Prefer, which is just I think it's an Australian brand, I'm not sure. But just a kabuki brush. I like the fact that it's dense, I like the fact that it's large. I don't need to sort of concentrate powder too much on my face because I don't have oily skin. So I just kind of like to give, you know, like a quick dusting of powder over my face just to set my face and to even out my skin tone even more. So really like kabuki brushes for that. Okay, next off is bronzer. Now, typically I normally just use bronzer or blush, one or the other. I never really mix and match them together, but I have been lately and I do like doing it, especially because I am a bit more tanned at the moment, if you can tell. Yeah, lately I've been just using bronzer to kind of contour my face and just to bronze it up, and then using blush over the top. And for using bronzer, because I'm not specifically focusing on really contouring and I'm just sort of focusing on bronzing, I really like this brush, and this is the EcoTools blush brush. And it's just basically kind of this like weird shaped dome brush. It's pretty thin, it's not like really fluffy or anything like that, and it's pretty dense. And I just like to, you know, focus this on underneath my cheekbones, up to my temple, along my forehead, you know, just everywhere to just kind of bronze up my face and kind of give a little bit of a contour. I really like this brush for bronzer. Next off is blush. I find blush to be generally the hardest brush to find, like that I actually like using. I go through so many brushes that I think, oh, I'm going to try this for blush, and I don't like them, or I like them for a little while, but none of them really stand out as being like amazing. Not even necessarily this one, but I do really like this type of brush for blush. So this is the Models Prefer airbrush. Basically quite a, I would say like a medium-sized fluffy brush. And what I just like this to use this for, as I said, is just like over the top of my bronzer where I've put it, just to kind of apply it. This works absolutely amazing, and I just really like the size of it. It just goes on to like the highest points of your cheeks really well. So yeah, I really like that type of brush for blush. I cannot speak. It is quite hard. It's like a tongue twister, but yeah, I really like that. Okay, so moving on to eye brushes, most boring brushes ever. First of all is my eyebrows. To groom my eyebrows after I've like filled them in and stuff like that and set them, I just use a regular lash and brow groomer. This one is also from Models Prefer. I actually have quite a few Models Prefer brushes, but this is just a lash and brow groomer. I use this side to comb my brows. I don't necessarily use the lash part, but I just really like these to use for grooming my brows and just setting them in place. So that's what I use for that. Next off is eyeshadow. I have two brushes that I want to include for eyeshadow. First one is my all over lid colour, and I prefer to use brushes that are like this basically, so just normal eyeshadow brushes. This one is from Savvy by Designer Brands, and it's quite a like large all over shading brush, which I really like specifically for like lighter colours. And then I have a smaller one which is from Manicare, and it just looks like this. So just basically an all over eyeshadow brush just to kind of place colour all over the lid and up into the crease if need be, but those are my favourite brushes to use for that. Next off is crease colour. For crease colours typically I use blending brushes like this, and I do have two of these, one to actually apply the colour in the crease and then a separate one to blend, which is clean. This one is from Models Prefer, and yeah, just a regular blending brush to apply colour into the crease. I love using these brushes. I just think that they give a really, really flawless finish and they blend it out really, really well. So love those types of brushes for that. My next favourite brush is these ones. These are one of my favourite types of brushes to use, and they're just the small eyeshadow brushes. This one is from BYS, and it's called the Eyeshadow Smudge brush. What I like using these for, just these like small domed, is to apply eyeshadow on the lower lash line. And I don't wear eyeliner like on my waterline because I find that it smudges off really quickly, so I like to use this for eyeshadow just on the lash line, lower lash line, and it works really, really well at just, you know, giving like that really smoky kind of eye, just smudging any colour, whether it be like a brown or a black. It works really, really well and fits perfectly. And then I only have one more brush, and that is the brush that I use for eyeliner. Now this one in particular is not the brush that I use, but these types of brushes, I was going to show you the one that I actually use, but it's really, really dirty. This one's from Models Prefer, and it's just a angled eyeliner brush. I also really like these for my eyebrows if I'm like shading them in rather than using a pencil. For eyeliner, absolutely love using these brushes. They just go on really, really nicely on the top lash line. They just create a really precise line, and yeah, I really like using these brushes for my eyeliner. So that's basically it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and you got some ideas on the types of brushes that I like to use. I do apologise that like most of these are Australian brand brushes apart from the Real Techniques ones, but yeah, sorry about that. So I will see you guys later. Bye!